Welcome everybody, Pastor Randy, Gower Christian Church, 7 Minutes with the Savior. It's study day, so I'm at my coffee production facility, classified location here in North Kansas City. Sitting in a different spot here in front of the blackboard. The question of the day is, what do you wish you could tell your younger self? Man, we could spend a few 7 minutes with the Savior on that, couldn't we? But so glad that you're with me. And we're going to keep talking about prayer. This has been on my mind a lot. I'm reading this book, How to Pray, a simple guide for normal people. And I'm in the section about intercession. And man, there's some good stuff. A couple of quotes I want to share with you, which I will post because they're so good. The first is from Richard Foster, who's a great and prolific writer on spirituality and the practices of spirituality. And he writes this: if we truly love people, we will desire for them far more than it is within our power to give them, and this will lead us to prayer. Intercession is a way of loving others. And then a little bit further on, here's a quote from Karl Barth. I wish I'd seen this before Sunday's message. Karl Barth, great theologian, 20th century theologian. To clasp the hands in prayer is the beginning of an uprising against the disorder of the world. Let me say that again. To clasp the hands in prayer is the beginning of an uprising against the disorder of the world. And you know, I preached about the disorder of the world. I've been talking about it a lot, of course, because that's the situation we're in right now. And Pete Greig, who wrote this book, How to Pray, a simple guide for normal people, talks about the boldness of intercession and almost to be indignant about the disorder of the world. To pray like you're indignant about the disorder of the world. And man, that just really struck me. Because sometimes I find I'm too nice a guy when it comes to prayer. No, sometimes I can get in God's face. I can pray pretty boldly, but sometimes I'm just too nice of a guy. There was one time I remember I went on a hospital call after worship, and I'm not sure, it might have been fatigue, I don't know what was going on with me, but I didn't pray my normal prayer when I'm praying for healing. It was different. And the person I was praying with had heard me pray before for him. And at the end he said, next time could you just ask God to act quickly? And I said, well, was I a little too wishy-washy? And he was honest with me. He said, yeah, you were. And I was. I thought about it later, and I said, I don't know what was going on with me, but Pete Greig says, and you know what, God knows how much I wanted that person to get well, and so even though I think I just didn't pray that well, I know that God knows what I wanted to accomplish in that prayer. So, but to pray boldly is a real challenge for us when we're interceding. To be indignant about the disorder of the world, and that disorder includes people who are ill. For example, that disorder includes things like our political process, which just seems to be so often right now off the rails. Jesus was always bold with the disorder of the world. I've just read a couple of stories from the Gospels and healing stories where Jesus, his prayers are 2 or 3, sentences, and he just says, "Be healed," and boom. One time he was preaching, and a demon-possessed guy comes up, and he rebukes the demon and just tells him, "Get out of there." That's all he does. So Jesus was really direct when he encountered the disorder in the world. And Pete Greig and other spiritual writers are encouraging us to also be bold, to be indignant about the disorder, and to recognize that to deal with the disorder, we have to connect with a power greater than ourselves, which is the Lord. I think that's just so important, and it challenges me about our current circumstances and how I pray and how we should be praying for it. But if you don't like what you're seeing in the world with the disease, if you don't like what you're seeing in the world with the political process, be praying about it. Be praying boldly about it. And I can't tell you how to pray, but I think it's a challenge and a really an important one. Pray with the same boldness that Jesus did when he encountered the disorder in the world. All right, my time's about up. I forgot to set my timer, but I can see the clock on my laptop. Got a board meeting tomorrow night, we will be looking at nominees for the coming year, and thank you for all those who've been contacted and considering positions, and we're grateful for the people that have accepted, but we'll be looking at that slate, and then our congregational meeting will be November 1st, and we will more details about that coming up. Worship, of course, this Sunday, 10:30 a.m. I'm so sorry about our technical difficulties last Sunday, but they will be ironed out, I guarantee it, and we will have a live stream for you on Sunday. Youth group is meeting, and I think we have settled on a hybrid meeting. We really want to, for those who want to be physically present, we will be meeting, and we will also have a way so that other members of the youth group can be with us via Zoom and participate alongside us. So we're making this up. It's somebody describes it as building an airplane while we're flying it, and it really feels that way. But be patient with us. But we want to serve how we can. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Love you guys. Have a great week. And until we meet again, online or in person, I bid you peace.